What's up, y'all? Come on into the Rooted in Progress Stream Center. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Yeah. Yeah. Last Thursday before Christmas.
Man.
Deanne, where you at with your Christmas shopping? You done? You started?
Haven't even started.
Man, join the club.
You know how it goes.
Club.
Oh, you're worse than me.
Oh, man. Listen. How many more days I got? It's Thursday.
You got a few days. You got about a week, less than a week. Yeah. The weekend.
I'm one of those running through the mall mad because the mall's closing early, like it's their fault, you know?
Wow.
So, but, you know.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Well, welcome to Rooted in Progress, y'all. It's your host, Deanne King, Terrence Middlebrooks. I'm super excited about this episode. I feel like we just have so much to unpack with our guests.
Yeah,
Terrence.
we got a wonderful gift in the studio today.
Let's bring in, y'all know him, y'all love him. He's in our community. He's across the world. He's across the nation. He does so much for so many of us. We have a Thaddeus Bullard, a.k.a. Titus O'Neil, WWE Global Ambassador. Did I forget anything? Father, man of faith, a Q, man of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. What? Did I forget something?
I'm handsome.
Ooh, we have the handsome, fine Titus O'Neil in the building for Rooted in Progress. We appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me. I didn't know we were going to coordinate.
Titus O'Neil.
I didn't know we were going to coordinate.
We look good.
Yeah, we do.
You know, like a little group.
I mean, I don't know what the link going to look like when we put it up. But,
or sound like
either. But it's definitely going to look good.
Yeah, sure.
I love it. That means we were all
on the same page.
Yeah,
we're all rooted in progress.
There
we're going to progress in this podcast and give some information to the people, a little insight about who I am and what I do.
Listen, our new co-host.
More importantly,
can we do that?
Yeah,
continue this journey that we are rooted in progress to tell good stories and talk about amazing people that live right here in our Tampa Bay area and beyond.
Yeah, you being one of them.
Yeah, I'll be trying. I'll be trying.
You do so much for the community. Before we go down and go through everything that you do, I want to just start with you. Let's start with young Thaddeus. What it was like growing up for you, because your story is, my goodness, it's moving. A lot comes with your journey and what you went through growing up.
Yeah, so I'm. It's well documented and talked about on so many different platforms. Right. I'm the product of a sexual assault. My mother had me at the age of 12. She was raped at 11. Had me at the age of 12. She was driven from St. Augustine, Florida, down to Boynton Beach, Florida, to have an abortion, and she jumped out of the car, and months later, I was born. I grew up kind of bouncing from place to place, homeless at times. I say that with a smile because I do realize and recognize that the clothes that I wear right now are probably worth more than what my mom actually paid for rent once we did get housing in an entire year, being on government assistance. And so labeled a kid that would be dead or in jail by the time I was 16, and was kind of headed down that path, and got the opportunity to go to a place called the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch in Live Oak, Florida.
Come on,
just
right
outside
down the street
of
from Tallahassee.
Period. Yeah. And it was that place that not only gave me structure and a place to kind of be safe, but also it was the place where I had the most important conversation of my entire life. When I was getting ready to get kicked off of the Boys Ranch for fighting, I had signed a contract that I wouldn't get into any more fights, and 30 minutes after I signed that contract, I got into a fight. And the decision was made, a meeting was held that I would be sent back home to Boynton Beach, Florida, which for me at the time was terrifying because me and my mom had a horrible relationship. I have 3 younger brothers that lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in the projects with my mom, so there really wasn't room for me to come home. And I was really dreading even the thought that I would have to go back down to Boynton Beach. And white guy from Chicago, Illinois, named Patrick Minogue, pulled me into the office and said, "Hey, the decision's been made for you to be sent home, and I'm going to ask you a question. I really would like to see what your answer is." And he said, "Why do you think you get into trouble all the time?" And I had my head down, and I was like, "I don't know, man. I'm just a bad kid."
So you already labeled yourself at that.
Well, I was labeled that by other people too.
Right. You've adapted to that.
Correct. And so he said, "There's no such thing as a bad kid." And I said, "How can you say that? You know, I've been told I'll be dead or in jail by the time I'm 16. I'll never graduate from high school," which at that point, nobody in my family had graduated from high school, including my mom. Um, "You'll never go to college. You're too unathletic to play sports." The list went on and on. And I said, "Well, how can you say that?" He said, "I'm not going to give you the answer to that now, because I truly believe in my heart that you're going to turn things around and you're going to figure out the answer for yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you something that I want you to believe it." He said, "I love you and I believe in you." Now, a lot of people had told me that they loved me and then turn around and abuse me, beat me, curse me, etc. But nobody had ever told me that they believed in me or believed that I could be anything positive. It was always what I can't do, what I won't do, how I'll never be. And I've always had a very rebellious spirit, even till this day at 47 years old. I still have a very rebellious spirit of you not telling me what I can't do. And I started actually, I started to believe that I could be something.
Now, at this age,
I'm 12.
Okay, you're 12
I'm
years
12
old.
years old.
Yeah.
And I just started on this journey to being something that I could see, but other people could not. And in a lot of cases, even the life that I live today, a lot of the stuff I'm not responsible for. Is really me, you know, reciting the prayer of Jabez over and over again and asking God to enlarge my territory, not realizing that how much that territory, would entail.
Right.
But I ended up turning things around. I became the first person in my family to graduate from high school. The first person in my family to go to college and graduate from college. I went to the University of Florida. I'm in the University of Florida Hall of Fame. I played football there. I won a national championship there. I won SEC championships there. I was the vice president of student government, which is why I hate politics to this day. People that actually worked for me in college are still involved in politics. Our Attorney General, Ashley Moody, is one of the people that was holding signs so that I can become the vice president of student government. Nikki Freed, who ran against Ron DeSantis for governor and also served as the state agriculture head, held signs for me to become the vice president of student government. Yeah.
Wow.
So many people that are heavily involved in politics, worked for me in college.
Wow.
And I just believe that, especially, with the climate that politics is in now and has been for quite some time, that, I always go back to the fact that so many people invested in me from so many different walks of life that I have no room to be prejudiced towards anybody. I can have an opinion and not try to force that opinion on someone else. Everybody's vote does matter, but to say that everybody's vote counts the same, it doesn't.
Right.
I do pretty well in life, and my vote doesn't. It doesn't register the same as someone that's on government housing.
Right.
Because I have a different type of influence.
Correct.
And we have to get out of this mindset that whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, there's such a divide. And politics and religion, I'm not going to get into an open conversation or discussion about it with anybody, because, even the Christians get it wrong, have gotten it wrong for years. And I just look at the fact that I'm where I am today because so many people invested in me when they had nothing to gain in return. And a lot of those people, some of them were Democrats, some of them were Republicans, some of them were Christians, some of them were Muslim. And a lot of those people I don't even know.
Yeah.
They sold into the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch and the Boys and Girls Club with a hope that they could help somebody. And I just was one of those fortunate ones that got helped.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
When did, I know hindsight is 2020, right? But when you go back and you think about your mindset when you were 12 and you're being told and you're dealing with abuse, you're already being told that you're not going to be anything. And then you have that conversation with Patrick. Did it take something physical outside of that conversation for you to turn things around? Or was that conversation all you needed?
I think that conversation happening definitely switched my thought process, but to actually be able to walk something out, like that was actually shaped and formed by a homeless man. In high school, I went to one of the most successful high schools in regards to sports, football in particular, in the state, in the history of the state of Florida. I mean, still to this day, we're the only ones that had won 4 state championships in a row.
Which high school is this?
Swanee High School.
Okay.
And every Thursday, Mr. Charles would get Danishes from Publix.
Okay.
And he would load his truck up with Danishes and muffins and stuff from Publix and bring it out to us. Because Thursday is a walkthrough day for us, day before a Friday night game. And there was this guy that was homeless that would be at our practices, and nobody ever really engaged with him that much, but he never bothered anybody either. And one day, I still to this day love the blueberry like Danish from Publix. And I try to stay away from it because it is very addicting to me. But I would give him, we'd always have stuff left over, and I would give him some food. And one day he stopped me and he said, "Hey, do you mind if I say something to you?" And I was like, "Sure." He's like, "Do you mind talking to me?" I was like, "Sure." And he said, "God's going to use you in a mighty way." And I said, "Yeah, man, I'm hoping to, make it to the NFL and make a lot of money so I can help a lot of people and this and that." And he said, "No, it has nothing to do with whether or not you make it to the NFL. God's going to use you. There's a purpose on your life." And, I tell people all the time, I could have taken the approach of, "Well, you're homeless. How can you tell me?"
Right.
Like what God has for me. Yeah.
To share this information.
And I received it and I said, "Thanks, man. I really appreciate that." And then probably a week and a half later, I'm giving him the blueberry Danish and a couple other things. And I say, "Hey, do you mind if I ask you a question?" And he said, "Sure, And I said, "How did you end up in this position?" And he said, "If I told you that I used to run a major company and I lived in a big home and traveled and beautiful wife and kids, would you believe me?" And I said, "I mean, if that's what you say, then that's all I have to go by." And he said, "Drugs, alcohol, and gambling took me away from my family."
Wow.
And not long after that conversation, I ended up inviting him to, like, one of my teammates was Todd Fryer. Matt Fryer and Wayne Fryer Mobile Homes, which is like one of the largest mobile home distribution companies in the Southeast. Their dad owned that. And Matt or Todd used to always try to get me to come to church. Well, he was Catholic.
Oh, okay.
So I'd never been to a Catholic church
Right.
before. And I ended up, taking him up on his invitation, and we standing up and sitting down, and some humming and some whatever and this and that. And I'm just like, I left out of here with zero idea what was going on. But the gentleman wanted to go to church. And so I asked them if it would be okay if I invited him to church. And I did invite him the following week. And he said, "Well, I don't have any clothes." And I said, "Well, where I grew up at, the Bible said, they say, Jesus says, come as you are." Yeah. And he ended up coming and then enjoying it. And then, later on in the season, I found out that his ex-wife was best friends with my high school football coach. Now, he hadn't seen his kids or his ex-wife in almost 2.5 years. And so I asked my coach, "Hey, is such and such going to come to the banquet this year? I heard you guys are really close." And he said, "Yeah, how do you know about her?" And I was, I just, you know, hearing
And
him
this
pass.
is like at 12.
I'm 13 at this
13,
point.
okay.
Yeah, 1 year. I'm 13 years old, and so I ended up inviting him to the banquet, and he sat with me and Mr. Minogue and a couple other people from the Boys Ranch, J.W. Harding, and his ex-wife comes in with their daughters and another gentleman.
Oh.
And she is coming in and she looks over and then she just starts crying.
Wow.
And then he gets ready to get up out of his seat and he's like, "No, please, yeah." And he's like, I shouldn't have been here. I should have, you know what I mean? Like I shouldn't have come knowing that she was going to be here. And the gentleman that was with her saw that he was getting ready to get up and leave and said, "No, please don't leave. Me and my wife pray for you every night."
Wow.
Wow.
My wife never wanted to divorce you or break up her family, but because of how she was raised in an abusive home with alcohol abuse, etc., she didn't want your daughters to grow up in that same situation.
Wow. Titus, that's a lot. I mean, being at the age of 12, getting ready to get kicked out of this school for boys program, and having one gentleman speak life into you by just telling you that he believes, Patrick, and for that to be turned around a year later, to be filled with this wisdom and connecting these dots is amazing. Like, so when after he told you that, what happened after that? What happened after Titus, we believe in you? So they didn't kick you out, obviously, right?
No.
So you stayed at the program, and then
Yeah, I was supposed to be at the Boys Ranch for 18 months. I stayed there for 5 years.
and that light bulb
Wow.
went off after that conversation.
Not only that, I ended up, the superintendent of schools, Mr. Charles Blaylock, who's still alive, I call him Dad, kind of adopted me into his family.
Wow.
He's a graduate of FAMU. He's the first and only black superintendent to be elected in 2 different counties in the history of the state of Florida. He's an Omega man. He's married. He's been married to his wife before she passed away a couple years ago to dementia. He took me in like his own, and he was super proud of me and showed it every chance he got. Still to this day tells, you know, when people get up to a certain age, they tell the same stories over and over again. Like kids will tell you the stories over and over again. And, you know, he gave me something that I never had as a kid. You know, I never met my biological dad. And he showed me what not only a real man is like, he showed me what a great black man is like. And he kind of, I would say, there's no manual when you're becoming a father.
No.
You kind of learn it as you go. But the one thing that I wanted to be, because of at 13 years old, my best friend, dad got murdered. And he was one of the biggest drug dealers in South Florida. And I remember after the funeral, my best friend saying, you know, to everybody, my dad was a bad man, a bad dude. But my dad to me was a hero. And I thought about why he would say something like that. And you know, and I know that it's still prevalent now. There are a lot of dudes that are in the game that are paying for kids to play sports because they're single moms that can't afford it. They are buying gifts for kids. They are rewarding kids for making the honor roll. They're doing all these things. And it's just like, how can someone that's in this life have this much empathy and sympathy and really a heart to do some of these things, even with quote unquote bad money?
Right.
And I said I wanted to be a hero to me. If I'm nothing else, whether I stay married or I am married or not married or whatever, if I have children, I want to be a hero to my kids. And I think I've been pretty successful at doing that.
You have. You have 2 beautiful boys, both in college now?
Both of my kids are in college, and then I adopted my daughter a few years ago. And my daughter's in college as well. They're all doing very well academically. They're all playing a sport of their choice. My youngest son plays football at Florida, which is my alma mater, and my oldest son is at UCF. He wanted to build a path for it on his own, and He's doing well there. And then my daughter, who I adopted several years back, she's in Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan on scholarship. So
playing basketball, right?
Playing basketball, yeah.
I think, and you mentioned how your goal was to be a hero to your future children, and you have excelled. You've far exceeded that, but you've become a community hero. You've become a hero to so many young little boys and girls running around the streets of Tampa and the entire Tampa Bay area. And I think a lot of people, when you get into positions that you're in and that we're all in, people are like, why? And I think like when people talk about you, they're just like, oh my gosh, she does so much. And they don't think about what you went through that made you the man you are today. And so we're big on giving everybody their flowers. And so one, we appreciate you and for everything that you do in this community and across the country and world, because you are global. But it's huge. And so you develop this platform, right? You've gone through all of these things, which trials and tribulations don't stop with success, of course, which I'm sure you can attest to that. But then you're able to establish this platform. You've shared with me a little bit of how you got into WWE. So talk about what that was like for you, because that was kind of unconventional too.
Yeah. One of my best friends is Dave Bautista, and he's now a really successful actor. But at the time he was in WWE, and he used to talk to me all the time about joining WWE. And I was like, man, I'm not doing that shit. It's fake. You know, I watched it growing up, but I never. And he was like, well, first off, it's not fake. It's predetermined. Yeah. He's like, I got several surgeries that will show you that it's not fake. And I'm driving in South Tampa at Brighton Plaza, or Britton Plaza, however you pronounce it. And there's a place there that still to this day I get my shoes resold. And I was coming out of there and I had a taste for jerk chicken. And right off of Gandhi used to be the jerk hut. I don't even know if it's still there.
Oh, they had a jerk hut over there?
Yeah.
It's a little gas station right there?
No. It was actual standalone jerk hut. So it's off Dale Mabry and Gandhi. And I'm driving out of Britton Plaza, and on the right, I see this big black and yellow building. It says FCW on it. And I pick up the phone and I'm like, Dave, is this a place you've been telling me about, going to? And he was like, yeah, when you get there, ask for Dusty Rhodes or Steve Kern. I'm like, Dusty Rhodes, like Atomic Elbow, Dusty Rhodes?
The Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, he helps run promos and stuff like that and develop talent and stuff. So I was like, okay. So I went to the back door. It clearly says FCW and WWE employees only. I don't really listen to people. So
bust right through the door.
I go right in the back door, and a bunch of guys are working out in the ring, and Norman Smiley looks down and he says, can I help you? And I say, yeah, I was looking for Dusty Rhodes or Steve Kern. And he said, well, neither one of them are here right now. They're at lunch, but you can come back later on. We actually have a show tonight. That's what everybody's preparing for. So I drove back up. My kids are 2 and 4 at the time. So I drove back up to Lutz. I just got divorced like 2 weeks prior to this. And also just got denied the head football coaching job at Chamberlain High School. Even though I was like,
the best option.
The best option. The option they went with actually left after spring football. I served. I still served as. I could have had an attitude, but I served as a defensive coordinator, and then he ended up leaving anyway. So everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely going to get the job now." And then they hired somebody who hadn't won a game in 9 years.
Wow.
So every chance I get now, because Richard Shanti was the athletic director at the time and the assistant principal at Chamberlain. Now he works downtown with the district. But every time we're in public, I'm like, man, thank you so much for not giving me that job. Because I have made so much fucking money and been able to travel all over the globe and this and that. And if I was a high school football coach, man, I would not be the man that I am today. So thank you. If y'all want to know why I do so much for Hillsborough County schools, not just Sly, but everywhere. If it wasn't for this man right here, I lay it on thick. If it wasn't for that man, Richard Shanti, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a round of applause. Richard Shanti, like sexual chocolate, but with that energy. So I was going through a very big transition period in my life, and I was actually also looking into getting in college coaching because I had got an opportunity to possibly go there once I didn't get this. So within 2 weeks of me getting divorced and getting denied a job that I was overqualified for, God had basically already set a path that I had no idea that I would be going on. And I mean, it is wild to me what I'm able to do now versus what I would have. I mean, even as a college coach, I could be a head football coach at a Division I school and still not have the reach I do.
So at that moment when you were denied the job, you went through the divorce, like where was your mindset? Like, is this all or nothing at this point?
I mean, I got 2 young kids.
Is it survival mode?
Yeah.
It's kind of there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know who owns it now. I don't even know if it's still open, but like my buddy owned a cleaning company. And I used to go in behind people that went to the Blue Martini when the Blue Martini was popping.
Yeah.
And I would have to clean up, throw up, and piss and everything else in between. Nobody knew this. I was literally paying. At that point I was paying like you know, child support that was way over what I was supposed to be paying, but it was bridge and the divorce hadn't been final, this and that. Again, God ended up restoring that too. Like everything that I overpaid, it brought it back.
Where was your faith at this point? Were you really leaning on your faith, or just kind of like questioning, like God, like man, what's going on?
I was going through a divorce for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I probably not only got a better understanding of who God is, but who I am for Him during this time. Because at that time, you know, Pastor Poe, Greg Poe, who's the second person that I call dad, like he, you know, I could call him at 2 or 3 in the morning. I would cuss and I would fuss and I would cry and do like all these things, and you know, he would just kind of guide me through. It wasn't even like scripture led; it was more spirit led conversation, which is why I say people today, like, don't call me a Christian, call me a man of faith, because I think that all faith leads to all faith has extremists in it, and then all faith to me is rooted in love. And whatever God you serve, if it helps you become a better person and it helps show you who you are and what you're supposed to be in this world, then by all means celebrate that faith and go about doing it. But for me at that time, and I say this, you know, like, yeah, God saved my life, but like honestly, my kids saved my life. If I didn't have my 2 sons, I don't know that I'd be sitting at this table. Wow. Because life definitely was not in a good space for me. And when I couple the fact of like not just the divorce, but previous trauma that I had not addressed, which is why mental health is like at the forefront of what I believe in at this point. I just started looking at life different. And I think when we look at people, we always, when things aren't going right, we always ask, what's wrong with that person? Everybody says, what's wrong with that boy?
It's from the outside.
What's wrong with that person? Yeah. But nobody ever asked the question, what happened to that person? Yeah. Because sometimes what happened to that person, you can find out what went wrong and you can help make it right. And I think in the heart of everything that I do for people, I never look at it as what's wrong with that person. Yeah. Because so many people thought something was wrong with me. And there was a time where I was insignificant to a lot of people. And at 47 years old, and I've literally traveled, there's nowhere in this world I haven't gone. And there's no major sporting event, there's nothing that I haven't done before, and nothing that I don't have access and resources to do. So at this point in my life, I'm not looking to be successful. Like, I've done that 10,000 times over. I'm looking to continue to be significant, because success is very selfish. It's for ourselves.
Deep.
Significance is for others. And the 8-year-old Thaddeus and the 80-year-old Thaddeus will never be too far apart from each other. Because at 80 years old, when I hit that mark in my life, I want to be able to look back and see how many people not only I helped impact positively, but I also want to be able to look back and say, man, look what God did with my life. And look at the things that, like, I'm looking at. So I look at football on Sundays. Like, people see me on Instagram and they're like, what? Are you a Bucks fan? Are you a Raiders fan? Are you a Patriots fan? Are you a?
Because you be everywhere.
Because I be everywhere.
Yeah.
But what these people don't fail to understand is that it's 32 teams in the NFL. I have somebody that I positively affected
On every single team.
on every single team.
Yeah, that's deep.
Wow.
Either on coaching, and some places, several people.
Yeah.
Whether it's coaches or players or front office people, I literally can pick up this phone and say, oh, wow, I think I want to go to a Chicago Bulls game. Oh, wow, I think I want to go do this at Madison Square Garden. I am literally one text or phone call away from being in any place, anywhere in the world that I want to be. And that, to me, is God saying what he said to me at 13 years old, what that homeless man told me at 13 years old, about God is going to use you to do some mighty things. That is literally what he has done.
How do you translate that into a message? I think so many people look up to you, right? And like you said, you've been significant to so many people in their lives. So how do you translate this message of hope to another 8-year-old Thaddeus?
I got asked this question on another podcast. It's yet to be released yet, but it's on the pivot. And I would say the same thing to you guys that I said to them, 8-year-old Thaddeus. As a young black 8-year-old individual, male or female, in the United States of America, you're only, in their eyes, capable of achieving but so much. I think that my heart for that 8-year-old kid resides to help them be more than anything they could ever dream. Because 3 years after that 8-year-old birthday, my mom faced the most traumatizing event in her life at 11. And my mom still to this day has that trauma. I would tell 8-year-old Thaddeus or 8-year-old Deanna, as a black man or black woman in America, that trauma, unfortunately, is a part of the fabric of who we are as black people. But exposure leads to expansion. And sometimes we don't have the resources to be exposed to certain things. And I do my best to expose kids in particular do the best of things, because I want them to grow up knowing that that's what God positioned every one of his children to receive. I've never seen, and nor have I ever seen, God take something and make it worse, or take something and make it remain the same. The Bible says you can't take old wine and put it into new wineskin. So why would I take a person that's in a certain situation and not present to them something new, or at least the idea of something new, and do it with the same dignity that was bestowed upon me by strangers? People wrote checks to the Florida Shares Boys Ranch. People gave gifts to the Boys and Girls Club. People did things with a heart of gratitude. But even with them doing those things with a heart of gratitude, it was, in my opinion, to make them feel good about doing something. It was more about that than it was actually making a transformational change in somebody's life. And we do a lot of transactional shit in society as a whole. And for black kids and brown kids, everything essentially, unless they're born into a certain, even with them being born with two parents and born into a place of affluence, it's still very transactional. So you're telling kids they're only good enough to be in this type of space, they're only good enough to wear this type of clothing, they're only good enough to have these type of jobs, and that's all they see around them. You're only good enough to go to this type of school, you're only good enough to eat this type of food. And so I've made it my life's mission, since I've been able to get and have resources. I don't feed kids anything I wouldn't eat. And although I may lose some money or lose an opportunity by saying this, but I wouldn't feed my kids Domino's pizza or anybody else's kids. Not that Domino's is bad. I don't eat it. So I wouldn't feed kids something I don't eat. Even when I give away gifts, it's unwrapped and the minimum is $25. I don't do toy drives. You've never seen me say, I'm gonna do toy drives. I don't do it. Because at 12 years old, and ideally most of the stuff that's happened in my life has been happening at 12. Before I went to the Florida Shares Boys Ranch, I was at the Boys and Girls Club. And this white lady, white people love me.
They do.
White people love some Thaddeus. This white lady came to the Boys and Girls Club, and she gave me this really nice remote control car. And she said, I bought this car specifically for you because I wanted you to have a really nice gift. And that was the only thing I got for Christmas that year.
Wow.
And I kept that car until my junior year in college. And the only reason I don't have that car to this day is because my college roommate, who was also my teammate, Daryl Owens, he came home drunk.
Oh.
And we was wrestling, and he broke my car, and we messed up the fish tank. Well, I beat his ass for about 3 days straight after that. And to him, it was just a car.
Yeah, but it meant so much
But to
more
me,
you.
it was the first time somebody said, I got this gift specifically for you because I wanted you to have a nice gift. So often we do these toy drives and we just put stuff in a plastic bag and just hand it off. And if those kids come through that line and they open that bag and they're like, oh, thanks, but no thanks. They walk off and the person says, oh, you see how ungrateful that kid is? It's like, if all three of us went to Bullard, free plug there.
I was just about to say, that's his restaurant, y'all.
One of three, yeah. If we went to Bullard, Union, or for Beachy.
Okay, because Union's my favorite.
Yeah. Union, New American on West Shore, or for Beachy, and you ordered steak.
The ribeye at Union.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
Or ribeye at Union. And the server brings you out salmon. And you say, I'm sorry, I didn't order this. I want steak. And they say, well, we just flew this in from Japan, and, we just really want you to have this. You say, first off, I don't eat salmon. And secondly, I ordered steak.
Right.
You have the right to go back and forth with this person because you're paying for this meal at the end of the day. When you're dealing with kids in underserved communities that are being told all the time, you're only good enough to get this, you're only good enough, be grateful, be thankful, be appreciative. You need to learn how to appreciate some things. Well, if I don't like what's being given to me, I can't appreciate it.
Right.
And I can't be grateful for it because I know in my heart of hearts, it's going to end up either in the trash, but somebody else may benefit from this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody else may like this way more than me. And I have the selflessness enough to say, give it to somebody else.
Right.
And I mean, you talk the talk and you walk the walk, because I've seen it with my own eyes from your school. I mean, if y'all have not been to Thaddeus Bullard Slide Middle Magnet, what it was to what it is phenomenal. The accessibility, the technology, the access, and I'm talking top tier. We're not talking about, like you said, it's something that Titus could walk into there and play himself. And all the way down from the experience that you give children. You've taken them on private planes to go to different events and different excursions. You literally do give an experience that you would want, and that you, as that in that underserved community, would love to have, not the pizza from Domino's. And then you look at your back to school bash. When I went and I brought my niece, Terrence, I went to his back to school bash, just maybe like 3 years ago. I was amazed because that was my first year. And Kamora had a freaking ball. First of all, Kamora would not leave his side, and she still talks about you to this day.
Kids and white people love me.
Look, I was amazed, right? We're talking about like dentists.
No, this is the event at the Raymond James Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah.
PDQ. Y'all know PDQ about $17 a box. And optometrists, dentists, access that these people would not have if it were not for you. And so that is it's remarkable to see what you have done with your platform, because so many people find success and they don't find significance, as you said. They don't care about that part. They only care about the success, which, as you mentioned, is
or
selfish.
it's about look at me.
Right.
Like, I've been on TV for 15 years in 160 countries. I don't care to have anybody look at me. Part of that look at me requirement is, I honestly don't like celebrity. I don't like it at all.
When people refer to you as one.
The name, yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Name, and even it's got some quirks, but it's got a curse attached to it too in some cases, if you treat it as a curse. I don't treat it as a curse because I'm in a position that I never could have imagined myself in, and I also understand that I don't feel like I'm doing anything
that you shouldn't be doing.
That I shouldn't be doing, regardless of my platform.
Right. And you look at this, and going back to what you were saying about how the black superintendent at the school was your first time ever seeing a positive black role model. Now your mission that God has you on is to walk the halls, because we've seen footage of you walking the halls of Slide Middle School, interacting, playing basketball, throwing football with these kids. here at your back to school drives, of just being that positive role model, not a celebrity, Titus O'Neil, not this, high profile.
I don't have bodyguards.
Nope.
You just doing what God has called you to do. And the biggest motivation for you is allowing these kids to see you as a positive role model. And you don't have to be a celebrity to do that.
Honestly, even if they didn't see me as a positive role model, I'm cool with the fact that I'm doing what God's called me to do and equipped me to do. Because to be honest with you, there's a lot of...
This is a safe space.
No, I know it is.
I know where you're going with this.
So, there are a lot of people in our community that believe that just because you have it, you should do it.
Yeah.
While they may not have as much as you have or I have, they're not doing anything except waiting for somebody else to do it.
Come on.
And I remember talking to my kids at 12 and 14, and every 5 years I have my kids revisit some of the things that they say they want to do, which we're going to do this Sunday. And the conversation went like this. Yeah, Dad, I want to be able to, I want to go to the NFL. I want to do this. I want to buy you a house. I want to buy your mom a house, buy mom a house, this and that. And I stopped them and I said, first off, you don't need to buy me anything. And second off, you don't need to buy your mama nothing. Because our job as parents is to put you in the best position to be a successful human being in society, regardless of what you do. You don't buy me shit. You don't buy your mom shit before you have shit for yourself. Right. Because I see it time and time again. Cats go to the NFL, they buy their mama a house, they buy their daddy a car, they buy this, they buy that, they buy this. 3 years later, they're cut.
They ain't got nothing.
And now they moving where?
To the mama
Back
house.
into the house that they bought for their mama, only to be told, this my house again, as an adult. When we talk about generational cycles and curses that need to be broken,
that's it.
The other mindset also too is the guy that goes to college from the hood and gets a master's degree and becomes a doctor is less credible than the guy that goes and gets a cup of coffee in the NFL, that hangs out with the homeboys in the hood. But the doctor very rarely comes back. But when he does come back, he's going to the local schools and he's doing speaking and he's trying to reinvest what was given into him. Oh, he's a square. What? Isn't the mindset wrong? Yeah. You're talking about somebody who essentially has reached the peak and they didn't fail because they still did something that a lot of people there can't say they did. But that chapter of their life is over. And you're still celebrating that person as if they are that person.
Right.
They're not that person. And even if they stayed in the league for 10 years, they're still not that person. Yeah. They shouldn't be, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I have zero desire. Somebody saw, you might have been one of the people that saw me. When I went to 7th and Grove, just randomly one time, I was at 7th and Grove, and they were like, what are you doing here? I'm like, shit, I can't come out and eat. And I love 7th and Grove's food. Yeah. I love, really what Jamal and Kalia have built over there. Jamarson and Kalia have built over there. I'm more of a Madam Fortune person because it's just different.
A little more.
And it's a little more intimate and stuff like that. But I actually go to those places a lot more than people think. I just don't go at the times that everybody else does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't have a desire to turn up. You know, I don't have a desire to get wasted. Yeah. I drink. I probably don't drink as much as my friends do, but I drink mostly wine. But I'll have a cocktail here and there.
Oh, y'all on the same page with
What's
that
your
one?
favorite wine there?
Camus.
We literally just talked about this.
Yeah.
Tune in next week, folks.
Yeah, we have a...
Tune in next week.
We should have had a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
We should have had a bottle. That's a great one to see. I mean, again, I feel like you're like far away, but still so close, where people can see you, feel you, touch you, believe you, and see the work that you're doing in this community. So I got to ask, what's coming up next? So you have your Bullard Family Foundation. Y'all done so much. And I know we talked about it, but your Father's Day event, phenomenal, and the impact that you had with that. And so what's next with your foundation? What are y'all working on?
Well, we've been doing these wellness days, which have been very good for the East Tampa area. We invite different families out. We do art therapy. We do different type of family services, etc. I mean, aside from our staples, I'm just going to continue to build up this academy over at SLY. I'm actually less accessible now than I was when I first started this work, just because I have different film projects and things coming up that or things that I've done already that are coming out in 2025. So I'm gonna be doing.
Yeah, I'm about to ask about it.
Yeah, I know, but it's you know, you guys know better than anybody. There's the 3 letters NDA. You know what I mean? Oh, give me the inside scoop right here on Rooted in Progress. Y'all heard it here first, y'all. No, the hell you didn't.
So guys, we're here. You heard it first.
To talk about it, yeah.
You heard it here first. There is something coming down the pipeline in 2025.
But I've been doing my book stuff too. I put out my second book around Father's Day weekend. And my first book, obviously, was There's No Such Thing as a Bad Kid, available on Amazon. And then Wrestling with Fatherhood, my championship journey to my greatest title, Dad, is my second book. And so I've been enjoying going and doing some, not only speaking engagements, but kind of book tourish type stuff. But this time of the year for me is, we have our Joy Given this coming weekend. And, after that, during that, my sons will be home. I'll fly to Canada and spend a couple of days with my daughter. And then it's bowl season. So I'm going to go some of these
different bowl games.
Yeah. And, Shaq is going to be here on the 1st. And I'm going to be doing some stuff with him. I'm pretty excited about it because we have other things that we're going to be doing.
What are you going to be doing? DJing?
He's going to be DJing.
Hard Rock?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. It's actually somewhere.
I know he was at Water before. WTR?
Yeah.
That's where he is again?
He's not there again.
Oh, okay.
He's actually like somewhere off Hillsborough, I believe.
Okay.
Off Hillsborough?
I believe. I got to look at the link. I got to look at my.
Who booked you, friend?
Right.
Yeah. It's Shaq though. Shaq, I mean, y'all don't know this or not, but like Shaq literally will just do random stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've it's crazy because my wrestling name is built. My youngest son's name is Titus.
Yeah.
Shaquille O'Neal is somebody who I always like wanted to emulate. Not in WWE, not because of the sport, but because of what he was able to do. I mean, when he was in his prime in basketball, that joker was acting, he was singing, he was DJing, promoting everything, DJ, every single thing, right? And so I remember talking to him maybe 8 years ago, and just saying, telling him the story of how I came up with my wrestling name, this and that. And he was like, "Oh, that's dope. I guess we're cousins." He actually shot me a video text the other day, and was just talking about he literally popped in to a Target and just started buying people stuff,
Wow.
and paying for people's stuff. But to have a relationship with him now that I have, again, like
Never would have imagined.
no,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You need to get him on the podcast, man.
Yeah.
Swinging by here.
Yeah, join me in trying to get him on every other podcast too. That dude,
So you mentioned some acting. I know you mentioned the NDA, boo, whatever. So what do you have? Is that the next thing for you?
It definitely is.
Okay.
Yeah. It's something that I've, dabbled in a little bit, but like now I'm realizing, like, and again, you tell people what you're gonna do, and it's like they don't see stuff, and then they like looking for instant stuff, and then next thing you know, it's like, dang, you just blew up out of nowhere, and this and that. No, it wasn't really out of nowhere. I told you guys like 3 years ago that I was gonna be doing this.
Yeah.
So we have projects coming next year.
We have projects that I've already shot that will be coming out next year, and then we have projects that I'll be shooting next year, coming out the following year.
Can we say what platform?
Oh, two are going to be in theaters.
Oh.
One will be on Netflix. Okay. One will be on Peacock and Bravo. Another one will be on Prime Video.
Okay.
Yeah.
On all platforms.
Yeah. So all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
So Dad, given the fact that Christmas will be here in a few more days, what are some of your Christmas family traditions, or that you, it's a staple that you and your family do each Christmas?
This is gonna really negate your reasoning for asking.
Okay.
But we don't do birthdays and Christmas the same as everybody else.
Okay.
Because I got told at a real young age that there ain't no such thing as Santa Claus. And that Jesus is the reason for the season.
Same.
Right? And I pour into my kids 365 days a year. So I don't need a certain holiday to tell me that I need to go over the extra mile.
Yeah.
A lot of relationships get broken up.
Yeah.
Not just at Christmas, Valentine's Day. Yeah, I know. But here's the thing. Even so the women feel a certain way about Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah.
They feel a certain way about Mother's Day. They don't have that same energy when Father's Day comes around.
Ooh, hold on now.
No. Stop. No. I'm speaking. No.
I agree with that. 100%.
100%. Hey, society.
Yeah.
Okay.
Society as a whole.
I'll give you that.
Mother's Day is celebrated. Father's Day is tolerated.
Right.
Me, you, and 10 of our buddies can go golfing on Father's Day weekend and go to any restaurant of our choosing and get it seated within 20 minutes. Mother's Day weekend, you try that shit?
Yes.
From Thursday all the way through Monday.
Yep.
Booked.
Ain't happening.
Yep.
Valentine's Day weekend or Valentine's Day.
Same thing.
We don't get fired up about Valentine's Day. Yeah. Men don't. But
everything has become so commercialized.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's a turnoff.
Yeah. So to answer your question,
okay,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I was about to share my little piece on that.
Yeah. Well, no, because
yeah,
you don't. Yeah,
we only got a few more.
Yeah. You know what? To answer your question about Christmas and traditions,
yes,
we like to gather around and have people over, and have family just enjoy family.
Yes,
in my house, because we're on planes. We can go get what we want. We can do what we want to do. And that itself is a gift.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just, for us, we don't get a chance to gather everybody together, laugh, have a good time, play ping pong, play golf. What else do we do at the house? We do all kinds of stuff at the house. And enjoy each other's conversation and presence.
Yeah.
Because if COVID didn't teach people that, the importance of that, and being able to love on your people in a healthy space when you can, and invite people into your space. You know, when people have to watch their loved one pass away via Zoom or have
a
funeral
via Zoom.
via Zoom, your whole perspective should change.
Yep.
And I think in this season, what I would like for people to do, because my mom, my mom got to a point where she was like, listen, I ain't got it, and I ain't gonna go out there and kill myself to get it. There are men and women out there that are stressed out about getting something for their child for Christmas. Yeah. I can say with 100% certainty, most of the stuff y'all stressed out about buying and getting will get played for maybe 2 weeks. Then the batteries run out or they lose interest.
Something new come out.
I would say put more emphasis on being the gift and treating them as a gift.
Right.
Quit yelling at these kids, cussing at them and telling them what they ain't going. Why are you so damn stupid? And all this, just love on them and teach them how to love and be loved, because that's the greatest gift that I think that any parent can give to their child. As a man, although I'm not married, I went from a point of, after I got divorced, well, this was not for me and I'll never do this again, to being open to that prospect of doing it again, and I will be a husband again. The greatest gift that I'll ever give my family is not the house, the car, this and that. The greatest gift that I ever will give, any man will give to his family, is a great last name. Mm-hmm. And while we didn't have a lot growing up, we were proud of our family.
Yeah, and what you did have.
Mm-hmm. And content in it. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, made jokes about it. Grandma bought them same pajamas for all of us. That's all Grandma had money to do. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and the thing about it is, you laugh at those moments. Mm-hmm. Like when you're around with family, man, the good times is reminiscing, telling your kids how bad we had it. Yeah. For the joy of what we have today. Coming up with games. Y'all stressing yourselves out coming up with games. Yes. Hey, this year, everybody, we come into the house and the game is, we're going to exchange gifts and it can't be over $10. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just tell me you broke, baby. Yeah. Just tell me you broke and we'll be all right. We'll work with it.
Yeah.
I do think there's that level of expectation. What I was going to say about like the Valentine's Day and about the Christmas and things like that, I think what happens with some people, not me, but what happens and why things are missing sometimes is because there isn't love throughout. Mm-hmm. And so, like you said, y'all get on the planes, y'all go and do things, and it doesn't always have to be super extravagant, right? No. Like you all just hang out as a family and there's that love 24/7. Mm-hmm. So extra love on Christmas doesn't change the love that your kids or, your family has for you, because it's there throughout. So I think sometimes what people are fiending for on a Valentine's Day or on a Mother's Day, they're fiending for the love that they never see throughout the year. Mm-hmm. So they feel like, unfortunately, I never see it any other time, so y'all better show up for me on this damn day. Yeah. And that's what I agree with you. If we were just more present, if we were more intentional all year long and way more outside of these, some of them are man-made holidays, we wouldn't see that as much.
Love is transformational. Mm-hmm. Lust is transactional. Mm-hmm. And whatever you lust after, whether it's cars, money, etc., it's all transactional. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Transformation, like you're not going to buy a new car every day, 364 days. Right. That's a transaction. Mm-hmm. But you'll get in that car and you'll keep that car clean. Well, progress. Well, it is. You know what? But here's the thing, though. You're grateful for that car.
Yeah. Oh, of course, yeah.
And if the wrong person gets in that car, well, I would say the right person. If the right person gets in that car and they see your car looking a certain way, they're going to be like, You making all this money. You spend all this money on this car. You walking around here, you know, doing all this
Not
on,
too much
doing all this on the thing, made up from head to toe, taking some of the money out of the budget for Rooted in Progress, so that we can make so we can make sure you
crazy.
Look good.
We have to go.
And then your car looks like
you
sleeping in it,
eating in it,
eating in it. You're not
everything.
But then got the nerve to be like, and I told my kids this. I started my son off, and this is a hell of a start. I never bought my kids a beater. I wish I would have.
Yeah.
Just to see. But I told my sons this, like TJ, I bought him a Maxima. It was brand new. And, it looked like a locker room.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, there is no way in hell that you're going to expect for me to continue to pay for something like this. After that, he kept that car clean. He got it washed. I wouldn't say he washed it. He got it washed. And then I ended up getting him a BMW.
Yeah.
My youngest son, Titus, saw that firsthand before he was able to drive.
He knew better.
So he got a new Mustang Mach-E. My daughter could have gotten whatever car she wanted.
Yeah.
She wanted a Kia Stinger.
Oh.
That car was so hard to find, by the way.
Really?
I was like, a Kia?
Right.
It was what she wanted. First off, that car is like $65,000.
A Kia?
A Kia?
Yeah. Maybe 70. Brand new. She wanted a black car with red interior.
Oh, child. Not a Kia.
She got one of two in the Southeast.
What?
Bob Murray, shout out to him.
She keep it clean?
She's in college now, so I can't keep tabs on it.
Okay.
But she also is in like cold, snowy weather too,
Yeah.
so I wouldn't be like whatever. It's as long as the inside clean, we good.
Here's my thing with the car. It's difficult when you're on the go so much. So like,
all right, so I
you
travel,
but you have
money.
You have car washes on
money.
every block down
You have
here.
money. You have resources.
But the people at the car wash don't take my personal things out of the car.
Okay, so quit accumulating those personal things
Yes.
in the car.
Take about 10 minutes yourself. I tell my son this all the time.
Honey,
you're not on the go that much.
Honey, Deanna. Deanne.
I was about to say.
Deanne King. I'm calling Deanna. I want you to get riled up. Because right now you tripping. You ain't no more busier than I am.
And literally it takes 10 minutes.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
There's some in your back seat.
Say that again.
There's some in your back seat right now.
There is.
Okay.
There is.
But it depends on what that is.
But yeah.
Mine are shoes. Mine are heels.
Okay,
heels
that's cool.
Mine are
but
heels.
you talked about your car as if it's like,
No, it's not that bad.
embarrassing.
It's not that bad. But I do have like 6 pairs of heels in there.
Do you
what about
eat
your
in
house?
your car?
Oh, yeah, my house stay
It
clean.
stay clean.
Yeah, that's stay
and
clean.
organized.
And organized.
You just as busy to organize and clean your house as you are for your
but
car,
I
right?
have someone who helps me with that.
Okay, that's fine. Get some. You got every car wash.
Are you out of space at home? Is the reason why all these heels are in the back seat of your car?
What?
Yeah.
Wait, say that again?
Are you out of space in your closet at home?
Oh, no.
Is the reason why these heels are in the back seat of your car?
No, they're in the back seat of my car because here's what happens, right? So
See, what had happened was
so let's say like
you got clothes back there too.
Today for
or
in my
just
car
heels?
right now, no, just heels. In my
Oh
car
my God!
What happens is I go to an event or I'll go to work, right?
You have workout clothes in your car?
No,
I ain't worked out in God knows
she
how
definitely
long.
don't have that.
No,
All right, so
definitely don't have that.
ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna say "Rooted in Progress" is the name of the. So we're gonna help Sister Deanne
okay
progress in life too.
Okay, I'm gonna start cleaning my car out more.
Okay, well, let's start. You know what? Let's start working out more because we want you here.
Yeah.
Y'all, do you know she's a former college athlete, right?
Track.
Track
I'm gonna say
star.
track star, but
Yeah,
I would call her
track participant.
I was very much participating.
Yeah. Well,
for real.
At a Division I level.
To be a college athlete, we're gonna say you're a star, Dean.
Yeah.
For sure.
I wasn't winning conference, but I was doing enough to keep my
It's fine.
scholarship.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You were on scholarship?
I was doing enough to keep the scholarship.
Okay, so here we go. All right. So how old are you now, if you don't
We're
mind
not
me
putting
asking?
all that out here.
All right, so she's definitely
You're
over
close.
30. Because she's been doing this for about 22 years. So
22 years is crazy work.
But you definitely over 30.
Okay.
And you are literally called upon to do everything for so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
MC this, host this, do this, do that, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
In the midst of all these events and things that you're doing, you still have a lot of young black and brown girls that see you on billboards, that see you on ads, that see you on TV. They be like, one day, I'm going to be doing that. And would you want them to be like, yeah, but she don't really take care of herself.
You're right.
Her like, yeah, I mean, maybe I don't want to really be that.
So, given the fact that New Year's around the corner, Deanne, we hear it first right here on Rooted in Progress.
Man,
Would
I done
that
heard it
be
before,
a
though, bro.
New Year's resolution?
I done heard it before.
Would that be a New Year's resolution?
I done heard it before, so I'm closing my ears.
You know what?
Okay,
listen.
so let's do this.
Here's my theory.
Let's do it. No.
Okay, all right, go for it.
Let's do this.
All right.
If I'm being challenged to work out, let me give you my background, y'all. So y'all
Cliff
heard-
notes. Give us the
y'all-
cliff notes.
The cliff notes.
Yeah.
Because there's other people in journalism
I was
and that
in-
are reporters that do work out.
You're correct.
It's part of their
I was a
lifestyle.
collegiate athlete, but
Yes.
I was an athlete just about my entire life. I have never really challenged myself to figure out how to work out on my own. I've always had a coach. So what happens is I get my first job in Charleston, South Carolina, and I actually try to work out on my own, and I looked like an idiot in the gym.
That's part of life. That's part of life. We try new things, we fail.
All these things, correct.
So you're rooted in failure, not progress?
So, no,
Okay.
I got a trainer.
Okay.
And then I was just like, man, I really don't feel like doing this anymore. However, so here's the thing. I will commit to doing it if I have help.
You'll have help. You can sign up to Crunch. They got classes.
And they got trainers.
Crunch has
You
classes.
need accountability partner?
Yeah. That's what you mean.
So who gonna work out with me?
Virtually?
Huh?
You gonna work out with me?
You don't want to work out with me. I'll work out.
No. I'm not saying at the same level,
No. What are you saying?
but I'm saying
that'll-
like timing and accountability.
So I
I'll
work
hold
out
you.
first thing in the morning. You're at work.
I usually get to the
And that's
gym about
another
6
thing.
a.m.
Yeah.
See, it's
No,
hard.
but that's why there are classes. There's a gym called Rumble Fitness.
Okay.
Right, literally in Channelside. I'll text the owner right now and say, hey, I need you to give her X amount of classes, and then once she reaches that amount of classes, then let me know how consistent she is, and then maybe I'll pour a little bit more into it.
Okay.
But see, here's the thing. The fact that there was a slight hesitation,
There
bro.
was no
you heard
hesitation.
that pitch.
There's no
That
hesitation.
voice kind of
When I
cracked.
heard the
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
You hear it? You heard it?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Let's do it. I'm here.
When?
when do you want to start?
Think about it now. Nope. No rush.
Not this month.
Why not
I mean,
this
we
month?
2 weeks left in this
Yeah.
month. You know what? You're right. It's better
Not
to
this
probably go
month.
ahead and start this
Why
month.
not? Why not go into the new year? See, you're like so. Let me give you
My schedule is you stressing me out.
your schedule. She looking at me, telling me about a schedule.
But I'm saying because it's already like I'm gonna be stressed trying to figure this out.
No, you're not. You got the same 24 hours I got, Deanne. You got the
Right.
same 24 hours he has.
Right.
Taking 1 hour out of that day to address your health when you are a black woman that is susceptible to health inequities, just like any other black or brown person in this country.
Okay.
And you out here telling all these
Sweating.
people, go
She's
get
sweating.
checked and go get
Do we need to
your
get our hair
blood
makeup?
work
Do
and
we need to get our
Oh,
makeup
I
in
just-
here?
is this
You sweating?
you need a blot.
Whose
you need
show
to,
is this?
You need
Yeah.
to be blotted.
Yeah.
It's your show.
Whose
You
show
know
is
what?
this?
But you know what? We talk about
This is
progress.
rooted in progress.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can't say that enough.
This is
Okay, I'm
Progress.
gonna take you up on your deal.
This is
Okay.
a great.
I'm gonna go to the gym and where you said Genocide?
It's called Rumble Boxing.
Rumble Boxing.
Yeah, I'm
Down
gonna.
the street.
I'm gonna. Yeah, it's
How
right
many?
in Channelside.
How many sessions?
I'm gonna ask them to give you 10.
10 sessions.
Yeah, so at
You could
minimum,
do them
you
at
should
your
go. Yeah,
own
you could do.
discretion.
Yeah,
Once
so
a week.
Well, no, don't tell her that.
Okay, all right. Let me,
Don't tell her
I was
that.
gonna say, oh, I could do that.
All right, so 2 times a week to start off.
To start?
Yes.
Gosh.
Yeah, you can pick Monday, Friday. You could pick Tuesday, Thursday. You could do whatever you want to do because there's an app. You'll download the app,
Okay.
Rumble Fitness. You'll sign in. You'll make you an account, and I'll make sure that you'll be able to go there for 10 classes.
10
Dan,
classes.
you want me to join you?
2 times a week. Let's go. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Starting the new year though. No.
So here's
You, but see, now you want me to start now.
no.
It's,
No.
it's probably
So-
best to start now.
No,
Because you
is-
fall
no,
into
no.
that tradition of everyone doing it January.
Yeah, you know what? And I was literally about to say, average people and mediocre people start the same time. They do the same things. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I make New Year's reservations.
I don't make resolutions either, but here's our problem.
I got the mic right now because you got a problem that could easily be solved. You got the same 24 hours. She got you.
I won't physically be here.
Okay, but you could do that. You could go. You could wherever you are. There's a treadmill, and you can get on that treadmill
But
for
that's not the
30.
class.
It doesn't matter. It's called addressing your fitness goals. So you can get on a treadmill. I'm giving her another tidbit. Even if wherever you are, you can get on a treadmill. Put the elevation at 10 and put the speed at 3.3. And you do that for 30 minutes. And then you get off and you stretch. Done for the day. 30 minutes. I'm not even asking you for an hour.
So how about we start that this year, but I start the classes next year?
That's fine with me. But who's going to hold you accountable?
Me.
Uh,
Get me out of here. All of y'all.
No. How are you going to hold yourself accountable when you haven't done it? And I've known you
yes.
for a minimum.
We'll
what,
be right
5
back
years?
in here next year
How long
asking
have
about
we
the
known
same
each other?
thing.
For at least 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years, you've told me the same old song and dance. But your show is called Rooted in Progress. You did, boy.
Because I'm indebted to my community so much.
Yeah. What? How about paying some of that debt to yourself?
Yeah.
I will.
Right? You can't
So
be.
who's gonna? Y'all got me? Y'all gonna hold me accountable?
I'll hold
This
you
is the
accountable.
only
I
way-
will hold you accountable.
Yeah, the
Will
only
you?
way.
I will.
No. Here's the thing. The
Will you
only
hold me
way
accountable?
the only way I will be able to hold. We will be able. Let's put together a group text when we
Okay.
get offline, and then you say, hey y'all, I'm going to this is what I did today.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the
There was no. I'm waiting for you to keep
Okay,
going.
this is what I did today.
Okay.
We'll chime in. Great job, this and that. But here's the thing. I need a little photo or video evidence.
Ooh, that's accountability.
Because if you
You
take a
could-
picture of the
could send-
treadmill.
On the
after-
treadmill.
You could, no. I want to see the timer.
The readings. Yes.
I want to see the timer.
Yeah.
Supposed to be talking about the Bullard Family Foundation.
We did all that.
Yeah.
We did all that.
We can come back for part two.
And y'all can edit this whatever way y'all want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. This is accountability right here.
This is accountability right here. We got a whole slew of listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all hear Deanne King. What camera I'm going to look in? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, everybody? I am Thaddeus Bullard, a.k.a. WWE Global
We got the
Ambassador
whole
and
PSA
Legend,
right here.
here on Rooted in Progress. And we have had an amazing conversation here today, delving into several topics, which has helped me lead me to where I am today as a man and things that I have progressed in the future. But while we're talking about futures, we have to my right the beautiful Deanne King, who you all know, WFLA. She's been successful in not only changing people's lives through the media, but also in the community.
Wow.
And all we're trying to do at this point right now, ladies and gentlemen, is to get her to change the most important life in her wheelhouse, which is her own. And her own life will require her to do things in regards to addressing her fitness lifestyle.
Cue the
or lack
violins
thereof.
right here.
And we have come to a succinct agreement that she is going to not only do better, but prosper and progress in her journey to being a better Deanne King. We want to address on this show that it is very important for you to have progress. You have to be willing to progress spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally. And I am so glad that Deanne King has allowed us, really allowed God to use us to bring her to this point where she is going to address her physical health
To hurt you
and be this new Deanne King, the new improved Deanne King. She is the same old, beautiful soul that is continuing to progress right before our very eyes. And I am here, as she would say, I am here for it.
Okay, I'm gonna do it as long as you and Terrence hold me accountable.
We can do that in a group text.
Okay.
And if you get a meme with a, Denzel Washington or a LeBron James walking off the stage,
Oof.
it's like,
What does that mean?
This ain't it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do my best. So I'm gonna hold you to it. I have 10.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to text.
I have 10 workout sessions in Channelside in the new year. Okay. And then we're gonna have a group text, and I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm not sending no picture.
No. Yeah, you're gonna have to do that part too.
I'm not sending a picture. You're really texting him right now? You gotta do it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it even better.
What you about to do?
Hopefully they can pick up.
Oh my gosh. This episode has gone
please.
off the rails.
It's actually on the rails.
Is it?
To greatness.
Oh.
Yes, and greater. Is that you in that picture?
Who else is it?
Your hair is herring over there.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Come on, Haley.
Haley. It's okay, Haley. Haley is busy.
Yes, she did.
Oh.
Come back. Sound like she was maybe in a meeting.
Oh my God.
Hey, I know this is random as hell, but I'm doing a podcast right now. And here, I'm gonna flip the screen. See this lady right here?
Oh my gosh.
Where's
Hi,
Terrence?
Haley. Terrence had to go.
This is Deanne King. She is a famed WFLA journalist, reporter here in the Tampa Bay area. Been on TV. They have a podcast called Rooted in Progress for WFLA.com. And on air, we're
on air, Haley.
Yes, on air, live. I'm calling my friends at Rumble Fitness to tell her that this is one of the greatest ways for her to get back on her fitness journey. And I would love, so I'm going to have her download the app. We're going to, we're putting together an accountability text message. And she will be able to access some classes. And clearly, I'm going to need your help in making sure that she actually shows up. Yep. So when she shows up after 10 classes, then we're gonna take it to the next level. We're gonna take it to the next level. Yep. So right now, the minimum she needs to do is, because I told her 10 classes, but it ain't gonna be no one time a week type shit. It's gonna be twice a week to get her going, and then once she falls in love with it, which she better. Because she got help. She's talking about she can't work out on her own. Well, you ain't gonna have that worry at Rumble. Yeah, and it's a great class. You're gonna get some cardio. You're gonna get some weights. You're gonna get some abs. And you're gonna be right here.
I want some booty, Haley.
You're gonna have it all. That's right. Yeah. That's right. So
I'm looking forward to it, Haley. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Y'all hear this?
Live on the podcast, Rooted in Progress. Y'all see this, ladies and gentlemen? We are rooted in progress,
it's
even for the host. They invited me, and look at this. This is the gift that keeps on giving. It's the holiday season, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to my great friends at Rumble Fitness, Rumble Boxing.
Shout out to Rumble Fitness.
Shout out to Rumble Boxing. We gonna and my girl Haley, her and Henry, we gonna change this young lady to my right's life. You hear me?
this.
Yes.
Thank you, Haley. Have a good one.
Yeah. Yes, Queen. How y'all doing? Yes, Queen. Yes.
You are a mess. We're wrapping
Haley.
this show because you are out of control.
I'm actually in control.
Clearly.
Yes.
Well, listen, I'm excited for my journey.
I am too.
I'm excited for your journey too.
I
We're
am
going to
too.
have to have you back so we could talk about all
I'll
your
be back.
projects.
All the NDA stuff.
Yeah.
I got you.
You got us?
I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
Accountability.
Because I'm home. I'm home.
You are home.
Tampa, I will always represent and do things for home.
Well, we love you.
Even when home don't do things for me.
Ooh.
Look at that. I done blessed this lady. Not only did I get on the podcast, I done blessed her with a new fitness journey. You know.
It's so much. But what I will say, hearing your story, just everything, you're amazing in what you do in this community. So we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming on Rooted in Progress.
All right. Thank you for having me on Rooted in Progress.
We're going to continue keeping you updated on my fitness journey because clearly I now have one. And now all of you all know about it. So great. But no, thank you all for hanging with us again. Make sure y'all follow Titus O'Neil. What is it? Titus O'Neil?
At Titus O'Neil. See, this is a damn shame. At Titus O'Neil WWE.
At Titus O'Neil WWE on social media, his Bullard Family Foundation, so you all can see
at
what
BFF Tampa.
At BFF Tampa. Follow both so you all can see what he's doing in the community, especially if you all are in need of anything. Make sure you are following him. Hey, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe us. We're here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Y'all have an incredible holiday season and stay rooted.